Hi guys, Mr. Rufflewaffles here. It's kind of one of those times again where I'm basically sitting down and talking about how stressed I am, and I know this isn't a particularly entertaining video, but I try and keep a bit of a kind of real connection between my life and what you're watching on my channel, and these sorts of videos help me do that. I feel like it would be silly if I was just like a faucet of zombies information. There's a guy in here as well, somewhere in there, and that's what I want to talk about a little bit today. Essentially, last year I made the decision, after a lot of deliberation, a huge amount, that I would try my best to keep my physics degree going alongside YouTube, or vice versa. I would keep my YouTube going alongside my physics degree. I wouldn't drop out, I would just keep at it, and it's been a real blessing and a curse. It's been a blessing in the sense that I freaking love my degree so much. Oh my god. It's so much fun. It's just so good. But on the other hand, the amount of stress that comes from it and that YouTube amplifies is really, really difficult to deal with sometimes. And right now is really bad. The reasoning for it is that essentially in a week, I have my first exam for this summer. Then 2 days after that, I have another exam. 3 days after that, I have another exam. 3 days after that, I have another exam. Like, it's really stacked. And these aren't just, like, a little thing that don't really count for much. This is, like, a very significant chunk of my degree. And if I fail these exams, then I have one chance to resit them in August. And if I fail those, like if I don't manage to pass one of the exams both times, then I have to redo the entire year or leave. And that doesn't sound like fun. So essentially, the stakes are extremely high right now, and that's just one side of things, okay? So over the last few weeks, have been doing very little work with my uni stuff because DLC 5 has been going absolutely bonkers. I don't think there could have been a worse time for Treyarch to drop this DLC. Literally in the middle of my revision season, right smack bang in the middle, they say, do you want to come out to Treyarch? And I was like, okay, well, yeah, because it's Treyarch, god damn it. And then they're dropping the DLC 3 days before my first exam, god damn it. And it's just gonna, the crazy whirlwind of hype that comes with every DLC, especially something like this, is going to be swirling around for the entire duration of these exams that I'm sitting. And that's not even all of it. There's then summer, which I've got to figure out. E3 is a massive stress, and that's like a small one compared to the rest of the summer. There's so much going on this summer that I'm trying to plan, and I've got so many people kind of relying on me to make sure that certain things happen. And so that's a huge stress as well. And it's really difficult to make those summer plans when I don't know if I'm going to fail an exam, and that's going to mean that I'm going to need to be studying really hard through the summer to make sure that I 100% pass that exam when I resit it in August. So, like, if I need to make a decision today, for example, I'm in a real catch-22 where I need to make the decision today, but then I need to wait to make the decision because I don't know if I'm going to fail the exam. That means that the decision I'm making now would end up being the wrong decision because it's going to affect what's happening in August or in July or whatever. So that's not very fun at all. And the prospect of my exams being disrupted because of the fact that I've been having to devote time to YouTube essentially is really not fun, especially seeing as I've managed this year to do well. Like, I've got a business that is my YouTube channel, and I'm also sitting right now with my current average marks from across the year. Currently, I'm at a first, roughly, which is basically the highest grade of degree that you can get. So I'm doing well so far, but these exams are not going to go well at all. And it's just because of the circumstances of DLC 5 and stuff. I was so ready to just go completely library status every single day I was doing it. And then DLC 5 came up, and I was just like, oh, God. Oh, God. And I've dealt with this in the past. Like, obviously, for example, the Horizon teasers started coming out when I was doing my exams last year in January. And that was really difficult, but I made my way through it. I managed. And I've had all sorts of times before where there's been real crunches and I've been having to do stuff with Zetsubo in exam season and all sorts. And this particular time, because of DLC 5, because of how unprecedented this thing is, has ended up being catastrophic for my sanity. And so I'm in a position where, for my January exams, I made a video called, like, 50 Days of Hell or something, and I basically said, you guys, just an FYI, if I'm a little kind of stressed out looking over the next sort of 2 months or so, then just give me a free pass, okay? And the January exams went okay. They weren't amazing, but I managed, and I kept posting, and I lived. I did it. It was okay. And I got through the rest of this entire year so far, and my marks have been really pretty strong. And I'm at the point now where I'm just like, I currently feel like I haven't actually been able, I haven't had time, I've been so disrupted that I haven't had time to properly knuckle down and study like I need to, and like I usually do, which is just, I'll do like 14, 15 hours in the library every single day. I haven't been able to do that because DLC 5 has just plonked its way into my timeline. And it's meaning that I essentially have 6 days now until my first exam, which is horrifying. And a part of me really, really needs to be working on DLC 5 prep content because I need to cover this map pack. It is my livelihood. People that say, like, oh, just give this one a pass. YouTube ads are not doing very well right now, and sure, I'll be okay or whatever, but there is this crushing fear with YouTube that I don't think people necessarily convey effectively enough in their content, and that's that if you're a YouTube creator like myself, and you have a surge of success, every waking moment of your time producing content is spent worrying about the fact that you never know what could happen in a week's time. Some meteorite could hit your channel and all of a sudden you're not in a good place anymore. And so you're constantly, I certainly feel like I'm doing this, constantly just drowning and trying to battle to the surface for air, always. And I have a big channel, sure, but that battle to the surface and that suffocation is permanent. And it means in a situation like this, I am absolutely torn in two. Or more than two, because on the one hand, I'm so passionate about my studies, and I've put so much time into it already, and I've been devoting the last several years of my education to getting through this degree and getting my physics degree. And last year I managed, and the first half of this year I've managed, and I'm just so close to the end now. And then on the other hand, I've got this business that is just this complete uphill struggle always. And I love it absolutely so passionately. And so I'm just torn. I'm permanently torn. And that tear is never going to be resolved until I finish the degree or I fail it. And that's what's so scary about all of this. And so I'm sitting here right now just completely underwater, and it's difficult. And I don't know how I'm going to get through it, but I felt like I needed this video to kind of air the laundry. I just called my dad and spoke to my dad about it. I haven't talked to him in a little while, and we talked about all of this as well. It's tough. I don't know how it's going to go. And if it goes as badly as it could, then that will be really, really horrible for me. And it will mean that I basically have to cancel every single thing that I have lined up for this summer in order to make sure that I don't mess up again. And I don't even know how next year is going to work. I mean, I need to be kind of getting other people on to sort of edit my content and stuff, and I've started kind of making inroads into that area right now, but It gets expensive, man, and I don't want to pay people unfair wages kind of thing, so there's that whole stress as well of, like, trying to figure out how the hell to make this business work as a physics student who just doesn't have any time. So I don't think I've necessarily arrived at a point in this video, but I've talked, and you guys now at least know a little bit about what's going on in my head. You maybe are a little bit more aware of why I might not have been doing quite the same volume of story content as I normally would, because story content takes so long. I don't make stuff up for my story content, it's just not the way I operate, and as such, it's research, basically, and it takes a goddamn long time, and so I just haven't really had a lot of time to do that very recently. But it's been tough, and I'm going to wrap this up here because I just don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. But I wanted to talk about it because I've been talking about it for the last 8 years. That's what I've been doing on my channel. And now is one of those times, I guess. Like I said at the start, this is just one of those videos. So yeah. Fingers crossed I can figure this out, and I can somehow, through spending 18 hours a day for the next 6 days in the library, scrape through that first exam. I'm praying I can make that happen. And then the following 3 exams are going to be absolute agony, and I'm going to have to just devoting all my time to being in the library and not making content. But I'm just so torn, and it's just this eternal struggle, and it just goes around and around, man. So yeah, that's where I am right now. How was your day? Fingers crossed it was a little bit better than mine. Fingers crossed I can figure this out. Thanks for watching, guys. As per. You guys are the best. As per.